Hello one and all, welcome to Seen Through Glass. Let me tell you a story. 3 years ago, Paul Wallace and I were doing a Euro trip when we decided to swing by Lamborghini. We had no invitation, we had no access, so we parked up our cars and peered through the gates at what was going on. Well, today, I'm back at the Lambo factory to pick up this.
I'm in the 7, I'm gonna act up. I'ma need you to back up. I'ma need you to back up. Yep. I'ma need you to back up. Spilling the tea, you stirring the cup. I'ma need you to back up.
How do I explain what's happening right now? You join me at the Lamborghini factory, Sant'Agata, Italy. As you might be able to see, I'm sat in, sitting, thank you, in an Aventador S Roadster. I'm a little bit stressed because there are a lot of people watching my every move and I don't know how to control the fans. There we go. Yes, there's a lot of people watching my every move. I'm in a car that I've never driven before, an Aventador S Roadster, driving out of the Lambo factory following an SVJ driven by fellow YouTuber Dr. M3, and now Fiat is nearly going to intercept the convoy. Now, this really hasn't been the start of this video that I was planning or I'd hoped for, but sometimes things don't always go to plan and I'm just trying to roll with it. I've just collected this car to use for the next 4 days. I thought I was collecting a Huracan Performante Spider, but instead I'm in this Aventador S Roadster. I don't know if my cameras are on, I'm pouring with sweat. We spent about half an hour trying to get my bags in the very small boot. Right now, I'm going to go on a bit of a hoon. We're following that Performante Spider I thought I'd be collecting. And also following Cody in the SVJ, which he is test driving because he's been here today specking his own future SVJ. GoPros are flying everywhere. Vicky, my girlfriend, is in the passenger seat and Cody's giving me a walkie-talkie. We're just, it's a Lambo kind of day. What is going on?
I'm in the 7, I'm gonna act up. I'ma need you to back up. I'ma need you to back up. Yep. I'ma need you to back up. Spilling the tea, you stirring the cup. I'ma need you to back up. I'ma need you to back up. Yep. I'm in the 7.
Why are you here? Because this is the best coincidence ever.
You know what? I think it was meant to be.
It was meant to be.
Listen, so I am here because I am speccing my Aventador SVJ. It's kind of strange to say that.
You've outdone me slightly. Yeah, I was like, oh, it's really cool. I'm collecting an Aventador today. This man's specking his SVJ. Cheers, Cody. But yeah, literally last night in the hotel, I put an Insta story up saying I'm in Bologna, and I suddenly get a message back from this guy being like, I'm in Bologna, I'm headed to Lamborghini. What are you doing here? I'm headed to Lamborghini.
Like, wait, what?
This is just absolutely epic.
The last time I saw you was, what, like 2 years ago at Pebble Beach,
in Montreal.
LA, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like
so it's been time.
It's been a while.
But there's something so warm and nice about the fact that my first real Lambo experience is going to be with you.
A few minutes later.
Do you feel nauseous? Is that just me?
I
do.
Feel I think the G-force was quite strong.
The G-force is intense.
Quite pukey.
Quite pukey. That's how I feel. Pukey. Okay, so let's put the sat nav in. I've got my Mega Mount.
Oh, there's a cubby hole there, but it's quite far for me to reach. I've got short hands.
Where's the cubby hole?
Can you see? Can you see? Just behind you, there's a little cubby hole.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's perfect for a GoPro. Lots of you have been asking about my magnetic phone mounts. I sell them on the STG shop. They're Seen Through Glass branded. Well, there's always a link below to the STG shop. But go check it out if you want them. They're super, super useful. Reverse. first gear, lift system down, and we're away. Right, onwards to Lucca. Aha! I have a roof, and I'm trapped. There's some space in here. So I guess roof panel. There's little numbers inside the. Aha! And then that. Oh, maybe I was supposed to do that. There should really be a proper instruction manual. Okay, so that seems to be some kind of protector. So that's progress. We would be scratching it non-stop. I guess that's locked in. And then this little bad boy can go back on here somewhere. Nope. This thing is super annoying. I don't know what it is. I think it must be a tyre inflator. Maybe we leave this. My advice for anyone considering buying one of these cars or renting one or driving one, only ever carry your phone, your wallet and your house keys. That might almost be too much. It is the most impractical and borderline uncomfortable car I've ever been in. I can now finally fit because the roof is off. Yesterday, I had to drive the whole way from Bologna like this, leaning down so my head didn't hit the roof every time I went over a bump, and my back and anyway, I'm now excited to be in here properly. I have to say, sitting up, yes. I'm just looking directly at the windscreen bar rather than the windscreen. But anyway, I think the first thing I have to do is go to a petrol station because the range on any Aventador is about 20 miles, and today we're going further than that. I'll tell you more in a second. But also I've got to get rid of this bird poo because it's super gross. So, the only really good thing about today, so far, is the fact we get to do a cold start in an Aventador S. So, let everything warm up for 2 seconds. And, does it make a difference to go into sport? I guess. Then you forget all the problems. Now I've established that there's really only one way to film the Aventador, and that is point of view. Firstly, because it gives you just a true idea of what my view is behind the steering wheel. As a 6'2" man, it's really quite compromised, I will tell you that. So I do have to come down to this level quite a lot, which is really harsh on my back and my neck, but also gives you a sense to how wide this car is, how long the dash is, and how unsuited it is to some of these tight and twisty roads. But once this clears up, once it widens out, which I'm hoping it will do, it should give you a sense as to, yeah, just the unique experience that is driving an Aventador S, and especially a Roadster when you've got all of this space up here. So yes, fingers crossed this road gets a little bit bigger. I did the classic zoom in on Google Maps and find a white wiggly road. You probably noticed that gear shift nearly snapped my back in two. The thing about the Aventador, as I hunker on the big old brakes, is nothing happens until you hit 3,500 RPM. The lower revs, if I go up into fourth gear, are just dead. And if you're cruising in auto, which I don't know why you would do in a Lambo, you will have a miserable time because it's lurchy, it's slow, it's cumbersome. So you've got to come down. You've even got to use first gear on hairpins like this. And look, we've got a bit of a wall. Those pops they've added for the Aventador S are ridiculous. I'm taking it super easy though. Oh! Oh yeah! That was not planned, I promise. I wasn't actually, I'm not supposed to be filming that, ladies and gentlemen. We've got an old Porsche Speedster just cruising on by. I'm going to pretend like I ignored it because Paul will literally kill me, but yeah, I'm really hoping this road opens up because you're getting a little hint as to what's going on. And that exhaust, as I was mentioning, with the added cracks and pops is great. But the biggest thing about the Aventador is I now really understand why they call all Lamborghinis, but specifically their V12s, the Raging Bulls. Because this car is on or off. There is literally no in between. And when it's on, you really have to be tame. Or you have to tame it. That's the word. You have to tame it. Because all of your inputs make such dramatic differences into how the car behaves. I'm quite grateful for this slow-moving traffic, gives me a second to breathe, and stand-up tool. The throttle pedal is literally on or off, on or off, and you can actually feel it. The car really lurches and moves forward, but because of the quite, well, I guess, infamous, but at least famous, single-clutch gearbox that the Aventador still uses, if you literally just come off the accelerator ever so slightly as you're powering through the gears, it makes such a huge difference. It's a smoother and way more enjoyable experience. I will again try and demonstrate. First, just the slightest lift off. It's almost like a hold of the accelerator pedal, not a dramatic lift off, but just to allow the gears time to sync up. I'm not sure if that works in Corsa quite as effectively, because Corsa is just brutal for the sake of brutal, quite enjoyable for about 3 minutes, and then quite horrific. Anyway, I will rejoin you hopefully when this road clears up ever so slightly and this traffic disappears.
I'm in the 7, I'm gonna act up. I'ma need you to back up. I'ma need you to back up. Yep. I'ma need you to back up. Spilling the tea, you stirring the cup. I'ma need you to back up. I'ma need you to back up. Yep. I'm in the 7, I'm gonna act up. I'ma need you to back up. I'ma need you to back up. Yep. I'ma need you to back up. Spilling the tea, you stirring the cup. I'ma need you to back up. I'ma need you to back up. Yep. I'ma need you to back up.
I'll be honest, this isn't necessarily a road for quick driving. There are segments of it. It's a damn nice road. This is a car that does what really no other cars are doing anymore. I talk about it quite often. Nowadays, you can get into a 720S McLaren, a 488 Ferrari, a 911 Turbo S, and they feel relatively similar, or they do a very similar job. None of them do what this car does, which is take a sledgehammer and hit you in the face, back and testicles all at the same time. It's just such a bizarre experience. You have to applaud Lamborghini for continuing to make this car. Either they are brilliantly brave or a little bit slow, because you could say that they are behind the market by continuing to make the Aventador. But I actually think they're making a car for those of us that want a bit of a wacky car. I don't really always want a usable supercar. If I want a usable car, I'll go and buy a C63 or a Range Rover. When I get into a supercar, especially if I were ever to be buying one for £250,000 plus, I'd want it to be this kind of bizarre mental experience that exhausts me. And that is what this Aventador does. It exhausts me. Packing it up, stressful. Spending time in it, stressful. Driving it on a narrow road, stressful. But the one moment you get to do this, it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. Because there's nothing else that does this. And, let's do it. Let's go into Corsa. Because single clutch gearbox is, the Aventador gearbox is slow. Yes, it makes your head rip back and forth, but and I can't use Corsa on this road, it's too bumpy, but it definitely lets you know that you're shifting gear. And sometimes in these other modern supercars, you have no idea. It's buttery smooth. But yes, I think it's time to ditch my attempts at finding a nice mountain road in the Aventador and instead do what it does best and blitz ourselves to a wine estate. Yes, Lamborghini have very kindly arranged us to have a sort of lunch and wine tasting experience. I won't really be doing much wine tasting considering I'm driving, but Vicky's going to get all up on that. It's sort of just south of Florence, so it's like an hour or so's drive. And as I say, I think out there on the motorways, or at least the longer, clearer roads, this car will be a little bit more at home.